Check, check. We're live. Yeah, so Trump addressed the governors today, and I heard it got a little chippy with the governor of Maine. It's an hour and 30 minutes long, so we're gonna soldier through this. And yeah, we'll see how it went. I just got my own notification for on that I'm live. Yeah. Lovely. Let's put the volume up.
Well, we're in a very good mood. We just had the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Ever.
Some of them are forced to clap. Some of them don't like Trump at all, and they're forced to clap right now. It feels amazing.
And actually a record for a Republican. Now, I don't know about have they checked the Democrats too, but we have a record so far for a Republican. Now, it's 4 weeks. We have a lot of weeks to go. We want to finish that way, right?
We got to finish strong all 4 years.
I just want to thank everybody because you've been really amazing.
Come on now. Come on, everybody.
The job you've done has been incredible in terms of this 4 week period. It's been a very somewhat historic 4 weeks, and we have a couple of things in the works. We're negotiating with Russia.
What'd you say?
Ukraine, trying to get that horrible situation.
I think they're over there
terrible.
in my Washington.
It's just so terrible. I
The
see
black one?
pictures that you
Yeah, I
fortunately
threw 'em
don't
in
get
there.
to see.
I threw it in the
You don't wanna see 'em.
hamper yesterday.
And that is a killing field.
No,
You have young soldiers
look in there,
being
it's in
killed,
there.
thousands a week, and we got to get it over with.
yeah.
It's bad for Russia, and it's bad for Ukraine, and it's bad for us on a humanitarian basis. I've had very good talks
There's
with
two in there.
Putin, and I've had not such good talks with Ukraine. They don't have any cards, but they play it tough. But we're not going to let this continue. This war is terrible. It would have never happened if I were
It
president.
would have never happened if I was president. I was friends with Putin. I was like, Putin, you touch it, oh, bad things are going to happen, Putin. He would have never done it.
But it did happen, so I got stuck with it, and the whole world is stuck with it.
I was literally just saying that. I'm like, I'm so tired of hearing about this. Can we just end it and talk about something
Now
else?
you have a country that has its cities, they look like demolition sites. Those beautiful towers, those 1,000-year-old golden domes that were so beautiful, the most beautiful in the world, they say. They're all in smithereens.
They're on
Millions of
smithereens.
people killed, I think far more people than anyone understands. And we have people that better get to the table, get it ended.
Bava
Should have
Gita.
never happened. It would have never happened. But I'm delighted to welcome America's governors to the White House. You're amazing people. Even the Democrats are amazing people, some of you. And we've worked together. Actually, we work very well together. I can't think of anybody. There's one or two, yeah, that it doesn't work out so well. But that's sort of normal. But I do want to welcome you, and I want to let you know that anything I can do, I'm here. I'm here for you. And we can do a lot. I do want to say that I left a great place, North Carolina, and we're really working hard there since I've been in. For 4 weeks, we've done more than they've did in all of the period of time.
Dude, these governors must be feeling the pressure right now. Some of them are happy because they've been following along with Trump's plans, but some of them have been so annoying. Gavin Newsom.
And FEMA was a disaster. FEMA wasn't there. They didn't do the job.
FEMA didn't do anything
And,
until
it's a
Trump got there.
Terrible situation. I've never seen anything like it. And then they actually, when they did get there, a very small group, they chose anybody with an American flag or the name Trump on the front of the house. They would sort of skip that house very nicely. And it was just a disaster. And we've done it the other way. And we're working with a very nice person that we've had good relationships. The newly elected Democrat governor, who's here, I assume, is he?
He's
Okay,
here, I
thank you
assume.
very
He's here, I assume. Is he?
Much. We're working well together, very well together. And we're not using FEMA so much, but it doesn't matter as long as we get the job done. But the people are becoming very happy. So I want to thank you very much. Great job. But we are, and I'm of the opinion, I understand FEMA very well. We had a good situation with FEMA, but it was a very expensive thing to do. And I really believe when there's a natural disaster, a hurricane, a tornado, or
The
whatever
states,
it may be,
the states should handle it because the states know best how to handle it, and the federal government should not have to pay for it. That is what he's gonna say.
very capable people. It's called you fix it.
Yeah.
You take care of it yourselves. You don't have to call some faraway state and have people planed in from areas that they have no idea. They come in from
Yeah,
Alaska.
more than half the battle at that point is like FEMA gets in there and like tries to figure out the landscape and be like, okay, so we can do this, this, this. But the people that live there theoretically should already know what they really need.
It's good to help you in Florida. They say, boy, this is hot here. This is, by the time they figure it out, everything would have been fixed. It's not a good situation. It's very expensive. You spend at least twice as much. They don't negotiate. They go out and hire local contractors, and they have no idea who they are.
Just like any other government agency, they don't run it like a business. They run it like a charity. They just overspend, overpromise.
And I'd rather have my governor from South Carolina, Henry. I'd rather have Ron. I'd rather have from Florida. I'd rather have, I could name just about everybody in this room. I'd rather have you do it. You'll save a lot of money. And we'll send the bills. We'll pay, I think, far less. We have to have you have a little bit of skin in the game. Otherwise, those bills will be much higher than they're supposed to be.
Yeah, if they know that there isn't just a blank check coming from the federal government, I think they'll be a little more scared and pressured into preparing before a disaster comes. And also, I think he mentioned in a previous interview that it's not like they wouldn't pay, it would just be like reimbursed or something.
Especially with a couple of you in this room who I know we'll get bills that you wouldn't believe, record setters.
Record.
But so I think 75, 25.
Record setters.
The federal government paying 75. And we'll
Grab
go
my
right
charger real
through
quick.
We'll go right through, probably either go through Commerce, maybe go through Marco, because Marco's very good with money. I don't think I'm going to give him to the environmental gentleman, Lee Zeldin, here, because Lee's going to say, what's this all about, huh? They gave me this, too. You have found some big stuff, by the way, some big fraud. You have, as he said, this one's not even explainable. We're talking about billions of dollars.
I heard someone started fighting in here.
Really, it's sad.
Got
but
chippy.
It's a great job you've done in a very short period of time. But I think Marco or Scott
No, yelling.
or Howard, and if wherever Howard may be, we want to congratulate him. He did it was a great session. He got no Democrat votes. I thought he's been a Democrat all his life, and he got no Democrat votes. They all called him to apologize. And, honestly, it shouldn't be, but he got approved yesterday. But today I'm delighted to welcome America's governors to the White House, and I've known many of you for a long time.
I wish there was one angle where it faced away from Trump and at the governors, and we would get their reactions as he's saying things. And while I'm saying this, Trump looks kind of balding in this. You can see his scalp.
And this week we're
You can see his
forging
scalp.
even stronger bonds of cooperation to better serve the American people.
Yeah.
I also want to thank the members of my cabinet who have joined us for this meeting, and they have gone right off the bat. And I also want to thank Senator Thune, because
Thune.
we set a record on approvals.
Yeah, Kash
This is
Patel. Kash Patel, who's ready for the Epstein list, who's ready for the Diddy list.
I thought it was going so slowly. I think we have a record. So I apologize to anybody I screamed at. It was announced this morning. I think we had a record for the number of positions, so that's great. And they're great people. So I'll begin by introducing Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Marco is a savage sometimes.
He scares me because he got 99 votes. So that's either unbelievably good, because he's an incredible diplomat and therefore he's Secretary of State.
Or people have been blackmailed. Just kidding.
Or
that's a joke.
I'm a little nervous
Or is
about
it?
you, Marco. And the only vote he didn't get was our vice president, who couldn't vote because he had just left. So you got 100%. But it really says something.
Why did he
It
leave?
says working together. It's an amazing tribute, I think. I'll let you know about it. I'll let you know about it in about 2 years, everybody. Marco's been great, and he's been in some big meetings with.
Yeah, he's been going crazy.
People at the
He's been going from like Israel to Saudi Arabia to China. No, not China yet. Not yet. Russia.
highest level of states that we would say, states meaning other countries that we would have said wouldn't have dealt so well, but they're dealing very well. You have a great group of people with
Great
Steve
group.
Kirk
We got a great
behind
group
the
of people
walls,
here.
and we're making amazing progress. I mean, we've made more progress on that situation, which is Ukraine, than they have in 3 years. Again, it's so sad that it began, but we're also working very hard in the Middle East. Another one that wouldn't have happened, we would never have had, that you wouldn't have had October 7th. They had no money. Iran was broke. We had sanctions.
They're gonna be broke again. Trump is gonna go on this high pressure situation. I don't remember what he was saying, but he's going back at Iran. He wants Iran to make a deal.
Iran that nobody's ever seen before. They were literally broke, and they were not giving any money to Hezbollah, to Hamas. And how about Hamas yesterday with the babies? How about that? You know, we're going to take that.
You know.
We're going to continue to take that. I don't think so. But I want to just thank you, Marco, for doing a great job, and Scott, you also. Scott went all the way to Ukraine. I said, don't do it. That's why they have telephones. But it's always better to meet.
I heard Ukraine canceled a meeting on him or something. They were like mean to Scott Bessent, and Trump got furious after that.
Person. But I just didn't feel that it was good, and it was dangerous. You saw things on that train ride that you didn't like.
Train ride.
Understand,
Like I said, train ride.
Ride. The long ride. How long was that? 10-hour ride.
10-hour train ride.
To get there. And
I wouldn't do it.
Dangerous journey, but he wanted.
I honestly hate train rides and airplanes, because I have to be in control. I don't know how like people just sit there like. I don't know.
To do it. He's a patriot. He wanted to do it. It's better to do it than it is with a telephone. Always better.
Yeah, like the government workers, they had to come into office. Dude, it's better if you go in person, face-to-face meetings.
Much better to meet in person, but that was dangerous. I like him. Therefore, I didn't want him to do it. If I didn't like him, I would have suggested he do it. In fact, I'd say, go back today and let's give it another shot. But I hear that they're going to agree pretty much with what. But
that's good. I heard that too. Zelensky capitulated, and he's gonna give half of their mining rights to us. So their rare earth minerals, we're gonna be getting some of that.
The big thing is getting it done, and we'll get it done. Also, somebody who's been so popular right from the beginning, very, very little opposition, but she's fantastic.
Ooh.
She was the Attorney General of Florida for 8
Pam
years,
Bondi.
highly respected, and just an amazing
Pam
person,
Bondi.
an amazing leader and woman. Pam Bondi.
AG Bondi.
Good, Pam. How's it going? Good?
How are those Epstein files doing, Pam? I think they need to be released soon. Been waiting a little bit. I'm waiting for those Epstein files. Let me know in the comments if you're ready for those Epstein files. Some of your favorite celebrities might be in there. I don't know if you're ready.
Interior Secretary Doug Burgum. And Doug?
I
don't know
Burgum.
If he was last night. Oh, good. You just disappear right into the woodwork, huh?
Yeah, Doug Burgum is like this quiet, like nice guy. He just rolls in. He's like, "Hey guys, how you doing? You guys have a great day?"
Doug is a man who made a lot of money, actually, but in technology, sold to Microsoft for a lot, and decided he wanted to do a Trump thing, and he did, and he won easily, and he became a great governor.
That's cool. Like in the history books, that's kind of how it's supposed to be, right? Like a businessman makes his money, and then he's like, "I'm gonna give myself to the to public service," and then they serve the public, right?
And really good. And he was.
You were never really supposed to make money from the government. I don't know why that's like normalized. Like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, whatever that old bag is that keeps falling upstairs.
Sudden thrown into the oil business, right? And he took that to a level that nobody ever thought possible. The job you've done there has been amazing. And I watched he ran. Then I said, I like that guy. He was one of the few that didn't hit me. He was a nice guy. That's what I'm saying. After my position, but he never said anything bad about me. I said, okay, that's one checklist that we have good. It's one of the ones. But he was an amazing governor, and he really became an expert on energy. And when how
does that happen?
When I was with him,
the guy went from the tech sector to energy.
I realized I wanted him someplace. I didn't know exactly where, but I thought it would be
Put
the
him everywhere.
Department of Energy. I kept talking because
Put him
the
everywhere.
state has done so well. And I said, look, I want you to just hold it, and I want to put you there. He said, sir, I have somebody much better than Energy. Who? Chris Wright. I said, who the hell is Chris Wright? He said, is Chris here? I don't even know. Is Chris here? Hello, Chris. Boy, am I giving him some build-ups. I did the same thing last night. But he's the top guy in the whole, they say, on the planet for energy.
They say on the planet?
even clean, beautiful coal that we're going to be using like Germany does now. They're opening up a plant a week. And
So Germany's on coal, but they don't like nuclear and they don't like gasoline, right? Or oil. They like the green stuff and coal. I didn't know coal was green, to be honest.
opening up in China more than somebody told me 2 plants a week, but we're supposed to use the wind, which doesn't work. Doesn't work from a practical standpoint.
Yeah,
But
Trump hates wind turbines.
Man, when he said,
The only place the wind turbines I like is Palm Springs.
probably the only man, because I know Doug, he's got a big ego, and you're the only
Just like
man
Trump.
I've actually heard him say something. He said he's so much better than me on energy, he's better than anybody, and so we made a move.
That's
And
funny. Oh no, that's
a tremendous position to
someone
do
else.
this,
Not
and,
not.
we want to thank you.
Not
but
Dougie.
we
That
have to
wasn't
get
Dougie, that
going,
was someone
because
else.
When we bring the energy costs down, we have more energy than anybody in the world. We just didn't
Let's
use
see
Can
it.
you
I want to see the
imagine?
gas prices go
Biden
down.
set us up in Venezuela instead of taking ours, so that we go to Venezuela where they'd have very heavy.
Let's see those gas
stuff.
prices go down. I don't know about you guys,
We have
but
the best stuff in
I
the
wanna
world.
see those
We have
gas
more
prices.
liquid gold, and it's really great liquid gold too. We have more under our feet than anybody else.
if you're watching, comment down below how much gas is in your city. I just checked before going live, and it was 4.26 where I live.
But we went to Venezuela to buy oil instead of taking it from our own land and drilling a little hole in the ground. About how big is that hole? About a foot? About a foot, yeah. We drill a little tiny hole.
How much is it? Like a
And we could
foot?
have taken it instead of all of the problems.
We could
And
just
then we
drill,
made
baby, drill.
Venezuela strong again. They've given them a lot of money. They never thought they were going to have so much money, and all the people are leaving. So you're going to have one guy sitting there with a lot of oil under his feet. That's not a good situation. But we're having talks.
Yeah,
about
it's in the ground, so might as well take it out, sell it, make money, no?
that whole mess. What a mess it was. That was
What
another one
use
that
if
was
it's under
he
the
was ready
ground?
to quit. He was going to be out. Marco, you know that better than anybody. Marco's been very staunch against what took place there. And we were going to have that in any form we wanted it. But Biden made them strong. It was the worst administration in history. And
For
I say
energy,
that with
for
a lot of
border,
Democrats, but I think you believe it
for
too.
inflation. They're the
I
worst
say
at
it, you
everything.
believe it. But I just want to thank you. And if you get those prices down, that's what caused inflation, the energy.
The energy, yeah.
I think even more so the energy. The energy went up. They stopped the oil leases. They stopped a lot of things that we were doing, and then they went back to what we were doing as much as they could.
Yeah,
the
because
prices
people were
went
getting
through the roof.
mad,
Remember that
and then they
initial
started
surge? It was
adopting Trump
brutal.
policies.
And they went back. They let any rig.
No,
They let any
nothing
rig
like getting ripped off, especially at the pump, Jeffrey. That's the best.
that we had up just drill. And they ended up doing similar numbers. but we
Drill,
wouldn't
baby,
have been at those
drill.
numbers. We would have been double or triple those numbers. Those were from years ago. But energy caused our problem. But I just want to thank.
Yeah, when Trump left office, or around that time, gas in California was like 3 something. I've seen it go all the way up to almost like $6 under the Bidens.
You for recommending him, and what we've done is he's the head of department.
If we could get just the gas tax taken off, like 65 cents, whatever it is, 70 cents, even that will be such a major help.
of Energy, he's Department of the Interior, and it's really screwy because the Department of the Interior has all the energy other than some nuclear energy that you're in charge of. But he has all the energy, has all the land, all the great places.
He's got all the land.
More than any other country in the world. And he's
Department
in
of
charge
Energy.
the
Department of Energy is who's in charge. So if the gas doesn't go down, that's who we should be mad at.
Can't drill, and he drills, but he has no land. So what do? We said, I have an idea. Let's merge them. So we merged them intellectually. I don't
That's
know
good.
if we did it legally, but we did it intellectually. So now he gives up the land, and he gives up the drillers, and you're going crazy.
We got a good combo working here. I like the sound of that. I don't know what it means, but let's see.
You're going wild, and you'll do it beautifully, environmentally well, Lee. We'll make sure. But we
Lee
have a lot
Zeldin,
of
everybody. Lee
things where
Zeldin.
We had a merge. I always wondered, why doesn't the energy department do more? And they did do more because they don't have any energy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We'll probably have to make.
Sounds like it was
even
sabotaged a
change
little
in that,
bit.
somehow
Why would
merge
anybody
it
set
or
it up like
something,
that?
because it's pretty tremendous what you're going to be able to do. Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins, who's
Brooke
so
Rollins.
fantastic, and she's
Brooke
been,
Rollins, come
at the
down.
head of so many different things and loyal from the beginning. She even opened up when we had a
check this
Oh
out.
my
I'm going to
God.
show you how I afforded this car.
I didn't know Lives had ads like this.
Okay, you ready? All right, 100.
Rather shocking defeat. She opened up we call it an institute. I've never seen anybody raise money like her. She raised hundreds of millions of dollars.
For what though?
On this fabulous thing. But I said, look, we want to win another race because I think it's really important to win twice. And I won 3 times, if you think about it. So,
Dude, he's still on that.
The Republicans smile when I say it happens to be true.
He still wants 2020 in his books.
It's been amazing, and it was really tough because this last election, I go to a person and say, "Sir, I just gave you $10 million. Oh, where did you give it to?" I gave it to Brooke. You gave it to Brooke. She's spending it on policy. We don't have to worry about policy. We have to worry about getting elected, right? But Brooke is fantastic, and she's done such a good job, and she's...
All right, I don't care about Brooke. I want to see you fight against the governors now.
Right? And
call them out.
And what I didn't know, and as soon as I found out, I said, that's that. She studied. That's what she studied, agriculture. She knows everything about it, and she's going to be a fantastic secretary, and you'll do something with the eggs, because I'm hearing so much about eggs.
We're going to do something about the eggs. Everybody complaining about the eggs. That's all I hear. Oh, but how about the egg prices?
You'll figure it out. You got to figure something fast. But and we inherited all of the problems. You know, at some point.
Who knew killing 100 million chickens was a bad idea?
A few months down the road, we won't be able to say it's so much us. But the big things, really, we can blame other people for, to allow criminals into our country at levels that nobody's ever seen.
How about the borders are? Remember when Kamala's like, yeah, the border's fine. It'll balance itself out. No one's bad's coming in. It's fine.
To allow people from jails to have countries from all over the world be allowed to empty jails into an open border. They emptied jails and prisons.
Yeah, Venezuela.
Mental institutions, insane asylum, gang members, drug lords, drug people.
Everybody just sent us all their problem childs because they're like, hey, it's open there. Might as well have the U.S. take care of them.
People on drugs.
They're paying them anyways.
People that are very sick. They allow them to come into our country totally unchecked.
Why?
And right now we have a great gentleman.
You know, I never understood what was the reason for that, though. Like, what could possibly be the reason you just slam wide open your borders? You know, in EU, I understand in a way because they have a bunch of countries and they migrate between each other freely, right? But here in America, you don't have that, so...
And Tom Homan, who's doing an unbelievable job, and Christine Ohm. They're doing a great job, but it's
doing a great job.
It's something we should have never had to be done. And you see the levels of crime that these are serious. They make our criminals look nice, I'll tell you. That's the only thing we get out of it. Our criminals are very nice people by comparison. These are seriously
That's a weird compliment.
People. The various gangs, whether it's MS-13 or the Venezuelan gangs.
Transgender.
They're as tough as nobody's ever seen toughness like this. Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Bobby.
Nobody knows this particular
Bobby.
He sailed right through. I thought he'd get a lot of, I said, well, he's going to get a lot of Democrat votes, Ron. I said, he's going to be an easy one, right?
He didn't get any
Ron
Democrat votes.
DeSantis, I said, this one's going to be so easy. He's going to get all those Democrat votes. I don't know. You thank goodness for the Republicans, right? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And where is Bobby? Where is Bobby? So congratulations. Was that as easy as you thought? Just quit. Well, in the end, they all voted for him. He did pretty well. You got through. But, you know, we have one stat that I quote, the autism stat. And you hear different numbers, but it's thousands. They say between 10 and 20,000. So if you go back 15 years ago, we had like nobody. It was 1 in 20,000. Now we have 1 in 34. Is that right? 34.
1 in 34.
34 or 36 kids have autism.
That's crazy.
And if you go back, I guess 18 years.
Why though?
Whenever that was done, it was 1 in 20,000. So we got.
How does it go from 1 in 20,000 to 1 in 34? I thought we've gotten healthier. You know, we got to get the vaccines and all this stuff. You know, doesn't make sense.
From 20,000 to 34, 36. That's unbelievable. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
I honestly hope RFK figures that out.
We've done something wrong. There's something you're going to figure it out. Maybe it's a spray that we spray all over.
Conspiracies. Conspiracies. Maybe it's a spray we spray. What spray, sir?
The place that nobody else does. Other countries don't. The Pennsylvania Dutch, they don't do anything, and they're amazingly healthy. And he understands. He's working with Dr. Oz, who's a really smart guy. I know him very well. And those two guys are going to figure it out. They're also going to figure out why in the United States we pay $1,300 for a drug.
Oh, you know why? Because, yeah, I don't want to say, but you know why? It's a big money scam here. This is the biggest money laundering operation in United States. Where else would they get their money?
And in London, they pay, literally, they pay $200, even less. $88, I heard in one case.
They only like ripping us Americans off. That's it.
The exact same drug from the exact same factory, from the same plant where it's made. Got to figure that out. So I hope you focus really a lot on the cost too, because Americans are being screwed, and it's no good. They're not going to put up with it. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, another one I know very well. He's going to be fantastic, Scott Turner. So, Scott, congratulations. Man, oh, man, you are something. He got up and we had a great meeting yesterday, right? He got up and spoke. He's a good speaker, that one. And everybody loves you. Everybody knows you. Great guy. You're going to do fantastically. Well, you got a good recommendation from Ben Carson. Once Ben Carson recommended you, I said, all right, that's okay. We love Ben Carson. Nobody like Ben. Secretary of Energy.
Dude, Trump has gotten so much more boring as he's aged on his speeches. I kind of rather listen to J.D. Vance now because he just rips everybody. Just my opinion, to be honest.
Introduced Chris Wright and Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Doug Collins. I know Doug so well. Oh, where's Doug? Where's Doug?
Where's
that voice
Doug?
during the Mueller hearings, that beautiful
Where's
voice.
Doug?
Do you know, remember the catastrophe that every Democrat remembers this, when Mueller went to testify? This was not a good situation. That's where it all ended, Pam.
I really wish there was a camera facing the other way so we can see how everyone else's reactions are. I know there's at least one old ass governor just sleeping in the background right now.
Know anything about
You
anything?
can't convince me otherwise.
So you don't know what we're talking about, do you? No.
No.
This was not a good day for them, but it was a good day for justice, I can tell you that, for fair justice. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, he ran for governor of New York.
Oh yeah, I
in
heard that.
theory,
Lee
he had
Zeldin. Kathy
have no
Hochul won instead.
chance,
She's
but
getting
actually,
heat.
He almost won. It was a fantastic run, amazing run. And he's very smart. He was a congressman. He was fantastic on the
Fantastic.
hoax, the various hoaxes I had. I had a lot of hoaxes, so many I don't want to name them. Well,
Russia, Russia, Russia.
He was always very strong, great lawyer, tremendous lawyer, and also a big believer in the environment and keeping it good and clean and healthy. And I just want
Wait, but I thought Trump doesn't like the environment. I thought he just hates the earth and he wants to see it explode and he's gonna nuke ourselves. What happened?
thank you for the job. And the only thing I ask is that you go speedily, because, you know, a lot of people use the whole process, the environmental impact process, to...
Dude, that's like the most annoying thing ever. If we got rid of that solely, it would bring back American business. Just this green checks you have to do for every business you have to open.
projects, we just want them to
Screw
go
that.
quickly. And you can get the same answer in a matter of months as opposed to a matter of years. I feel so strongly, because people are coming in with tremendous amounts of money. I have been spoken to by every...
Yeah, businesses are coming in, and I don't want to see the effect of these businesses after like 20 years. I want to see it after like a year. China can build a hospital in a week, but for us, it takes like this check, that check, this check. Come on. If we're competing with China, let's do it.
Yesterday, I had Tim Cook in the office from Apple.
Oh,
He's
Tim Cook.
investing hundreds of billions of dollars.
In
I
what,
don't know
sir?
if he's announced it. Hope I didn't announce this, but what the hell? All I do is tell the truth. That's what he told me. Now he has to do it, right? So it's a good. But he's
a good leverage
investing
tactic.
billions of dollars, and others too. We're going to have A lot of chip makers coming in, a lot of automakers
Apple is gonna make chips, or also chips are moving in, and Apple is moving here.
coming in. They stopped 2 plants in Mexico. They were under construction, starting construction. They just stopped them. They're going to build here instead because
Dude, not only did Trump destroy Mexico, but now he's taking their car plants. He's taking Apple's jobs from there. What a guy! That's crazy.
The tariffs are amazing. It's good. I said it's.
Hey guys, did you
another
know
ad.
some drivers are ditching their car
ad.
insurance and they're doing
I'm
this
sorry, we'll
instead?
skip it.
I got myself in a lot of trouble. I said it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. It's such a beautiful word.
It's been so powerful
the
so
fake
far.
news killed me. They said, what about love? What about God? What about family? And they said, I'm in trouble. I said, so now it's my 4th favorite word. I say, love, God,
Tariff.
family. A couple of
Guys, breaking news: 6,700 IRS agents have been fired from the agency's workforce.
others I could add in there too.
They're gonna fire every single agent sooner or later, no?
It's my 4th favorite word. So, and OMB director Russell Vogt. Thank you,
Russell Vogt.
You're gonna be
Get out and vote.
I know he took some hits, but I know how good he is, how honest he is, and he's fantastic with the numbers. And you're seeing these numbers coming out with the theft, right? And it's tremendous fraud, waste, and abuse, and all 3 of them. But I think the fraud is really the biggest. I think you're going to see it. You come out
Yeah.
as soon as you can, I think, with your numbers.
When are we gonna see these arrests, though? I want to see Cash arrest somebody. There's been so much fraud. The only way to have accountability is if we see arrests. And like, I'm so tired of waiting. Let's go.
Because they're not explainable. They're not explainable. So I just, Russell, do a great job, that's all. SBA administrator, small business. Now, small business is really big business. It's actually one of the biggest banks in the world. It sounds a little bit like, oh, small, little business. It is a mess.
Apparently, there's a volcano in Japan. Sakurajima volcano erupts, spewing out millions of tons of natural CO2.
It is one big sucker, right? And Kelly Loeffler's here, so she's going to be incredible. And she's got an incredible husband, Jeff, who's one of the most important people
Jeff.
in the world of finance. And
Oh my
he
God,
knows-
when's he gonna start
he
calling
owns a
out the
thing called the New York
governors?
Stock Exchange, so that's not so bad, right? And you have natural experience, but I think you're going to do great. And there's a lot of fraud in there from the past, you know, with
There's
all the money
also
that
there's also a lot of fraud in California, which you should come check out, please. The rail, the homeless, the streets, the potholes, the bridges, the everything almost.
was handed out. It was, you know, billions and billions of dollars. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Where's Tulsi? Is she here? Hi,
Tulsi.
Tulsi. I haven't really seen you. Good luck. Do well. Have fun.
That's it.
We built a building. The building cost like $12 billion. The building is loaded up with
Good luck.
intelligence. Lots of luck.
Good luck, Tulsi. That's all I got to say for you.
It was. She was
I heard Trump shutting down the Nancy Pelosi building too.
treated pretty rough for a person that's an incredible patriot. We've all known that. So it's nice that you're sitting with Bobby, because you too.
Bobby.
You went through
They're the 2 Democrats, Bobby and Tulsi.
a lot, but you know what? You're going to be star. And over the past month, our new administration has taken unrelenting action to fix every single disaster that we inherited, and we inherited a lot of them. The border being, I think it's the most difficult one of all. The rest we can get fixed, including foreign countries that are doing.
Yeah,
things that
foreign
we shouldn't
countries are the easiest. The border, getting people out, it's gonna be expensive. All those flights.
Everywhere we won the popular vote. We won the 7 swing states, all 7 by a lot. And we won by millions of votes. The popular. It's always
Millions.
hard. I guess it hasn't happened in a couple of decades for
Millions.
Republican to win the popular vote. I think that's changing so rapidly. But we had.
Does the
another thing
Democratic
that-
Party even exist? Like, I haven't heard a peep out of them. Joe Biden signed to like a talent agency. Kamala Harris signed to a talent agency. She's like out farming in California now. Like, where did they go? Jeffries is calling for violence on the streets. Chuck Schumer is like justifying waste. He's like, well, don't take an axe to it.
It was pretty amazing. We had, of the 3,000 counties, we won 2,500 of
That's
them.
crazy.
And
The world's
Democrats
going MAGA.
500. It's a
No,
lot.
just a nation.
They've never seen anything like it. It would actually, you would have thought that the numbers would even be much higher. When you win 2,500 counties to 500 counties, that's when you look at the map. You've also
That's called a landslide. It's called complete and utter domination.
It's like almost totally red, and it's my honor. We're going to just work it out, but we've really become the party of common sense, and I think it's important.
That's so funny too. Like, I've been watching Canadian politics. I've been watching like Europe's politics, and all the right wing says they have like the same talking points. The AFD, Pierre Poilievre. Let's return to common sense. My name is Pierre Poilievre. Let's go back to common sense. My name is Trump. Common sense politics is what's gonna get it done. They all say the same thing. It's crazy.
Important for the Democrats, common sense too. We're going to deal with you, and we're going to deal.
See, that's what I mean. I need a camera facing the other way because he keeps talking shit about Democrats, and there's Democratic mayors just sitting there, just taking this. How much longer till someone screams at him like, "Hey!"
Sense basis, and I know a lot of
Stop talking shit, sir.
With a lot of the things, I don't know. Sometimes you're not allowed to say it, unfortunately, but I think we'll be all better off if everybody says it. That includes Republicans saying the right things. So on day one, I declared a national emergency on our southern border to stop the invasion of our country because we were being invaded. Millions and millions of people. I figure 21 million people, and of that, 2 or 3 million were criminals.
And he's only on pace to deport 1.8 million for the 4 years. So for everyone that was freaking out over like everyone getting deported, I don't think it's happening. You see the pace already.
And many of them were people that countries didn't want. They would put them in these massive, large caravans. I came up with that name a long time ago. This one is. It's a caravan.
Did he? Is that true? I need to fact check this. Siri.
And these are people, in many cases, they might not be criminals, but they're people that the country didn't want. They didn't work. They needed help all the time.
What's worse is they took taxpayer money and they used it for things that we don't even get.
They needed assistance or whatever. Our country's
and it's taking up housing that people in California specifically could use housing. It'll make the prices go down.
A lot of people in it right now. And we're going to make sure that everybody's treated fairly, but we got to change it. It's the most difficult problem, I think. Additionally, the heroes of ICE have been.
I heard someone from ICE, 2 people from ICE got fired today because they weren't doing their job. They might have been the leak. There was a leak in the ICE. So they were like arresting much less people. Tom Homan was furious with his underbite.
Hunting down the really bad ones, and we are going. They're incredible people, ICE. They were being shunned by Biden. They were being mocked.
They were being sabotaged, more like.
Tough men and women, but they're tough. They'll see like a MS-13 band of thugs out on Long Island, and they'll bring up the paddy wagons. They get in, and they'll say,
"What the hell's a paddy wagon?" Dude, Trump's losing his mind, low key. Like, he says some crazy, weird things.
One of them, 2 of them, killed 2 young girls.
Did he have his paddy wagon though?
For some reason, they like Long Island. MS-13 loves Long Island. I don't know what that's all about.
It's their vibe. I don't know.
But 2 young girls.
Each gang has their own territory, and they go where they like. So
school.
That's their spot.
16 years old. In the morning, they were accosted by a group of MS-13 thugs, and they
MS-13 thugs. I like the way he says that.
They like using knives, and they cut them into pieces.
He doesn't pull his punches.
And left them, and killed them, cut them up into pieces, little pieces, and they used knives because it's more painful. And ICE went in. They have no fear of these
I don't think
guys.
they could
went
afford
in
the
and they
guns,
just
to be honest.
took the hell out of them, and they'll go into a pack. They call it a pack, not like a political pack. Political packs are
pack?
slightly nicer, but a pack of these
Pack of
MS-13
wolves.
people or Transgender people.
Transgender.
They'll
Transgender.
it's all you'll see is fists going for 5 minutes, and then you'll see these guys walk out, and they got them between their legs, and they're getting them the hell out of the country. These are rough people that we have to deal with.
Why were they ever allowed in here, dude? I could see an argument for normal people, but Why would you have unvetted immigration and a bunch of gang members get in? They literally took over a apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and they were starting to expand. If Trump didn't get in there, they would have probably been in like 50 states.
It's incredible. Border Patrol is incredible. Law enforcement, the people in law enforcement, we make their job so difficult by allowing people like this into our country.
Yeah, for real. They're already like handicapped by the defund the police stuff. And then not only that, they started shoving more people in here.
You shouldn't do it. So I've just designated the group from Venezuela,
Transgender,
as a foreign terrorist organization. I mean, they in Colorado, they went and
they're gonna get wiped off the face of the earth.
and other places. They literally take over. They're like me. They're in the real estate business. They take over real estate.
Is Trump saying he's part of Transgender?
And they literally take it over. They just claim it.
It's mine now.
Get the hell out of
Pay
here,
me
get
rent.
out. They had one case where a guy called.
I am
cops
the
and they
captain
went in and
now.
called the cops. Yes.
My name is Juan from Transgender, and I am your landlord/captain now. You pay me.
Cut off his fingers. He says, you don't call them anymore. You cut off the other fingers on your other hand. These are not nice people. But federal,
Vicious
state, and local
thugs, as Trump likes to
cooperation
call them.
has to be the backbone of border security. So I hope, as governors, I know all the Republicans.
Oh, the Democrat governors are for sure looking at Trump like, don't say it, sir.
are very much in tune with Tom Homan and Christie and everybody. But I
Don't
hope
say it.
everybody, because ultimately you want to get the criminals out of your state, and we're focusing on the really bad ones. It's we have 11,088 people that we know of that are murderers, that are actually murderers, and I can't imagine anybody wanting them
Why are they
in
here?
their state, whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat or whatever you may be. I mean, we have many of them murdered more than one person, some murdered more than 5 people, and they're in our country. They let them out of jails. These were convicted people, and they let them out of jails because it's very expensive to have somebody in jail for a lifetime or whatever it might be. And they brought them in here. The American people expect every city and state to fully honor ICE detainer requests, and we hope they can, and to ensure the safe transfer of criminal aliens into federal custody for immediate removal from our country. You know, many of the countries said, we're not ever going to let them back. Under the Biden administration, I remember it's Venezuela. He's a tough guy. And others, they said, we're not letting them back. They're out of here, and you'll never bring them back. They're not coming into this country. And Biden said, well, we can't bring them back. They won't take them. Well, we took them. And every single country now, you saw it with Colombia, you saw it with Venezuela. In fact, they actually offered to send planes to pick them up, and they'll pick them up so that we don't have to go through the expense of sending a plane. Is that correct, Marco? Even Marco couldn't believe that one. But they literally are sending planes to pick up these people, and they're rough pull, and they're picking them up, and they're putting them in the planes. There's no excuse for any state attempting to aid and abet dangerous criminals, killers, drug dealers, really bad people who are violating federal law and violating the law by being in our country. To combat inflation, I declared a national energy emergency, and we had to do that. One of the things we've done is by doing that, we can go very quickly. You know, a lot of companies are coming in, but they need tremendous electricity, amounts of electricity. Who would have thought, Doug, right? But they need more electricity for AI than we have right now in the country. In other words, we have electricity now for the whole country. They need that just for that one industry. So they're coming in with, and we're going to be leading. We're now leading on that. We've really opened it up, and I hope it's good. But we opened it up, and we're leading China by a lot. But China's giving them tremendous electricity because they do whatever they want to do. But we're working with Lee, and I've told these people they're going to spend hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars actually. So I need double the energy that we have right now, and even more than that, from what I'm understanding, which is hard to believe. In other words, take every car, everything, every building. We need whatever it is, 100% of the energy. We need that amount just to be in the #1 position. And we need really more than that to to really dominate, which I think we'll be dominating. But I told them, and they can't believe it. I said, we're going to get you quick approvals, then you're going to build your own electric plant so that you're going to create your own electricity when you build your plant, which will be massive. These are massive plants. But when you build your plant, we're going to let them build an electric generating plant where they build like a utility. In other words, instead of using Con Edison, like we have in New York, hello, Governor, nice to see you back there. And we do have Con Edison, and they don't do a bad job, actually.
Con Edison? Like
It could be a
scam?
little
Con?
cheaper with the price, perhaps, but they don't do bad. But we build our own utility. They can have their own utility. If they have any extra, they can put it onto the grid. But this way, they're not subject to a bad grid or a dangerous grid or a grid that gets taken out by
That's prone to cyber attacks?
bombs or war or anything else. So they actually couldn't believe it. They said, you think you could get that approved? Yeah, I'll get that approved very quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cut the red tape. There's so many good ideas that don't get done because of bureaucracy.
Some big ones. But we're going to go, and this way it's really a self-service. They just have this massive building with a large electric generating facility that'll be powered by natural gas, mostly. Some will use coal, some will use nuclear, clean coal. I only say clean coal, but some will use nuclear. They have their right to do it. None will use wind, because wind doesn't work. It's just,
I don't even
terrible.
think these companies would be down to use wind. The companies themselves know it's BS.
Well, how an environmental person can like wind, it kills the birds. It's very expensive. It's 7-8 times more expensive than other forms of energy. Every wind turbine in the country that goes up needs massive subsidies. It's really the only energy that needs subsidy, essentially. The solar's doing okay. So it's the only one. But to combat inflation, I declared that national energy emergency, and we're going to unleash the liquid gold
Unleash American energy onto the world. Force them to buy our LNG. Make us rich, sir.
under our feet to bring the prices way down. That's going to happen. And again, we're going to have a big part of that's going to be natural gas, which is very,
Big
very
party,
clean.
big party.
And clean coal. We're going to do as many forms of energy as we can. And it's going to be something I think everybody knows.
Can we bring back that the energy we get with those big wooden wheels where you put it into a river and it like spins? I would see that at Knott's Berry Farm. I don't even know if they work, but just for the vibes, I would want to see those back.
And you're going to call me or anybody else if you have difficulty or problems. But you're going to have
Give me a ring, I'll fix it for you.
levels of business being brought to this country that you've never seen before. The tariffs are bringing them more than anything else. The country's bringing them, but the tariffs are bringing them. They hadn't been here, and we're creating tremendous
Yeah,
tax.
the tariffs are forcing companies to make the tough decision of like, yo, so we can stay here, but what if he does drop 25% tariff? That'll shatter our whole company. So they're like, what if we just eat the loss, and then we'll just go, we'll just make a plant there, you know? And it helps us.
Incentives, but the biggest incentive is they don't want to pay 100% tariff or 200% or whatever it may be. And as you know, we're going to be announcing tariffs on cars from foreign countries of 25%.
Next week, they're announcing tariffs. I think Keir Starmer and the French president are coming to meet also. Usually when another leader comes, he drops a tariff on somebody. So I'm expecting tariffs next week. I'm expecting a lot of screaming and crying.
That'll be done in probably April 2nd. I was going to do it April 1st, but I said I don't like that
April
date.
Fools. It's
going to cost a lot of money.
Imagine he drops tariffs on a country and then April Fools it and pulls it out. He's like, England, you get 300% tariffs.
I need to wait one day, you know. I don't know. What do I do there, Pam? Maybe should I do it just April 1st? It costs a lot of money, that extra day, Marco. You figure what that costs. Let's do it April 2nd, right? I just don't want to take the abuse. We created the new Department of Government Efficiency, which you may have heard about.
Doge, out of everything, has been getting the most heat. Hairy balls and big balls.
Doge, which is now waging war on government waste, fraud, and abuse. And we've begun the largest deregulation of industries and other things.
Yeah, Trump said for every new regulation, they have to delete 10 regulations.
It's proper deregulation that has ever done. I lead the way on my first 4 years. We did more deregulation than any other president in history. And I brought a little list along.
There you go.
That
They've been bringing the receipts lately.
I thought I'd just read some of the places when you mentioned Doge, some of the places that this money has gone.
This can't make the Democrat government, or even the Republicans that embezzle money, you know, they're probably so nervous right now.
And these are the ones that I feel I could read. There are some that are so nasty and dirty and horrible that I don't want to really read them.
Dirty.
I assume they have television on. I have guarantee they do. I let the press in today because we have nothing to hide, right? It's much better. They said, do you want to let
during the Biden regime, I didn't see live streams every day or videos every day. With Trump, every single day there's something to cover. I haven't missed a day.
Press, and they said, why not? You think Biden would do that? I don't think so. $520 million was given for a consultant to do ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance investments in Africa. $520 million, $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and social.
All right, I've heard this stuff before. We've heard all this before.
Political.
Let's get to the crazy parts.
Nobody. A little 29 million. Very happy. They're very rich. They'll be on the cover of a very good business magazine pretty soon.
He's still going? I've already heard it all, and it always makes me mad when I hear it more.
Great scammers. $20 million for fiscal federalism.
What?
And $19 million for biodiversity in Nepal. Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Security, and I read this, Lord, so 100 to 1 million. He was never had along with everybody. He got along with Democrats, Republicans. New York, I'll tell you. He's building a new building at 103, older than people on the.
Damn.
That's paid 20.
It's been like 2-3 minutes now. 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
It's 1.3. The only
just
thing
going over everything.
59 over the people.
Oh my
years
God.
Old, 260, which is strange because the country older than the country. It's better for you than for me. Look at this.
Who do you give it to?
That's much better for you than for me. Now the question is, are they getting paid? Because somebody maybe is getting paid. Yeah.
He keeps floating that out there. He's like, people are getting kickbacks. So I think he's seeding it. So when he drops it, it's not as crazy.
I said, what a convenient thing. This is so nice. We created this department, Doge, and the kind of numbers are incredible. It could be $500 billion, but it could be $1 trillion. It could be even $1.5 trillion. We're going to find out. I mean, I'm actually going with Elon.
What if it's like 4 or 5 trillion?
And Elon is doing a really good job. And I said, who are these people that travel? We call them the Dogers.
The Dogers?
And I said, what are they? He said, they're generally young people with
the
extremely high
Musketeers?
IQs who are very good with computers. Because you have to be good with computers. So when one of these scammers talks and tries to tell them why it's perfect, they said, no, it doesn't work that way. You know, it's very hard to talk them out of something when they have you. But we're actually going to Fort Knox because I want to see, do we have the gold?
Let's see the gold. Did they steal the gold? Is it in there? I heard London's been shipping a lot of gold back here.
Do we still have, whatever it is, tons of gold? I hope we do. Wouldn't that be disappointing? Fort Knox, you go up here.
Why? He keeps saying that, which makes me feel like it's going to be missing, and he already knows.
About Fort Knox, you can't get in. You can't even see it. Nobody sees it. You go there and the place is dry. Would that be terrible? There's another one.
That would suck, but I'm already mentally preparing for it to happen.
Maybe you should go with us to that one. But we're going to go in there pretty soon. They're going to open the doors to Fort Knox. If any governor would like to go with us, we'll go. Do you want to go with us on that one, Ron? That could be good. Could be
Ron. I heard Trump and Ron DeSantis have a little beef going on because Ron's trying to get his wife into this governor after him. And Trump wants Byron Donalds. So it's kind of weird that they're like interfacing right now.
Can you imagine if we open it up and there's no gold? Well, I think there will be. For one reason, it's really heavy. You know, you steal or borrow gold, you got to be strong. So it's not like other things. But we're looking at everything. We have the largest deregulation campaign in history, and we are, again, I did more than anybody, but this blows it away. And for one, every time we put in a new regulation,
I gotta do it before and after too. Like after 4 years, I want to see if actually he kept up with his word.
we're not allowed to put it in unless we terminate 10 old regulations. So
Yeah,
it's
that's what
one
I was
in
saying
10. We
earlier.
did 1 in
For every new regulation, you need to get rid of 10 regulations.
7 in my last administration. And the problem is some of them were put back, foolishly put back. There was no reason for them. So if you truly want a turbocharged economy, you have to do that, and you have to get rid of the regulation.
We wanted turbocharge, we wanted triple charge, we wanted nitrous oxide charge, we wanted everything, sir.
I think one of the reasons before COVID, and we did a great job with COVID and it was a hell of a thing for all of us, everybody here. But some countries will actually never recover for what they went through. But we
Which
ended
one? Which
up
one?
giving back. When we turned over the reins, the stock market was higher than just previous to COVID coming in, which was an amazing achievement. But we were just
Do you guys remember that? It seems like so long ago at this point. Coronavirus. Dude, we had to stay locked up in our houses.
prior to that. I would never forget. I was sitting down with 2 consultants.
We're gonna tell our kids that one day in like 10 years, right? Politics is gonna be back to normal. Everyone's gonna be boring. There's not gonna be any more orange people running, and we're gonna be like, yo, kids, you know, we voted during the time of Orange Man.
The 2 great pollsters, they said, sir, this economy is so good. We're the greatest economy in the history of the world. We were doubling up China.
Quick question: will you guys tell your grandkids that Trump was one of the greatest presidents of all time, or are you gonna tell them that he was one of the worst?
And I was also charging China hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, which no president charged them anything, but they were killing us. And but we were beating everybody.
Wow.
Everybody said that in 2018 China was going to overtake us as the biggest economy in the world. And
I see a revival coming back. I think China's economy is gonna start shrinking, and the U.S. is gonna start skyrocketing soon.
by the time I got finished, we were so much bigger than China, and we still are now. But another 4 years like we had just passed, you will have China being much bigger than you. There's no reason. If we have a smart president, there's no way that they should ever be able to catch us. But this pollster said to me, sir, if Abraham Lincoln and George Washington came back from the dead and they ran as president and vice president, they'd never be able to beat you. I said, thank you very much.
That's one hell of a compliment.
So next day I go into my office and a group of scientists are sitting there. Sir, would like to tell you there's something very bad happening in China. There's dead bodies all over the place.
Yo, I remember that too. When COVID first started, they were showing us videos from China saying that people were just passing out of nowhere and dying like flies. I didn't see any of that happen.
And that's the first time I heard the word pandemic in a long time. And that's where it started. And you know where they were? All around the Wuhan lab. That's why I was, from day one, I was saying, they had little slits like this. You saw them from the air, from space. And they were just little slits, but they were body bags. They were black body bags all over, so many. And that's where it came from. One other thing, I just before we leave, I think you should do this. For my safety and security and for the good of our nation, you should do it anyway, regardless, even if it costs 10 times more. But it actually costs you just a tiny fraction. If you went to paper ballots and you're voting,
He's gonna get this voting stuff done. I believe that. Next election, it's gonna be all paper ballots, and you're gonna have to show ID. I believe that 100%.
and I would hope that
Maybe even for the midterms, to be honest.
every Republican would. So it costs exactly 8% of what the machines cost. These machines, they got something going. They get business. It's amazing. So paper ballots, and paper is very sophisticated today. It's called watermark. It's impossible to copy, impossible to cheat. It's actually hard to believe that a piece of paper is highly sophisticated. but it's watermark, and it's very
It's hard to
amazing,
believe.
actually, when you see it. You can't cheat. But if you went to paper ballots and same-day voting,
This is probably where they start getting heated because they know they can't cheat anymore.
and if you went to voter ID, and also one other thing, you want a proof of citizenship. Those four things:
He's
proof
putting them on blast right now in the nicest way possible.
of citizenship, voter ID, paper ballots, one-day voting. And if you went to two-day voting or three-day voting, but some of these states, you had 64 days.
California. Why does it take so long? Everywhere else can do it. Why can't
You know,
you?
California just finished up just a short while ago.
I bet Gavin doesn't like that one at all.
They were voting a week and a half ago. They're trying to finish them up. And other states too. They were weeks after the election. I mean, if that were a collection,
Come on,
you'd
like
have
third world countries get it done in a day. Why can't we, as America, we claim to be the best, can't get it done in a day?
to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks. You got finished fast, Brian. Thank you for your help. We did very well in Georgia. It was very nice.
Brian Kemp, everybody.
But some of these states, if you had a close election, you wouldn't know who won. And then, once that happens, then you really never know who won. But you would save tens of millions of dollars. Forgetting about right, wrong, and security, safety, our country, our Constitution, and all of these. Number one, you'd have a much safer election. Number two, everybody, you'd know the results of your election by 10 o'clock. Everybody. It's a beautiful system. It's
Yeah, it
boxing.
messes it up too. Like if you're streaming and you're up, it's like a sport type of thing where you're keeping up with the elections. The 2020 for sure, it's like, what the fuck? Like, you're telling me I have to go to sleep and wake up and I still might not know who won? Like, just let us off the hook.
This is a 5,000. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom,
And you
boom.
can go and examine each box.
Boom.
It's so simple and so good. I did ask Elon because he knows more about computers
Elon.
than anybody. And I said, what do you think of the voting system? He said,
Imagine like an AI voting system or like something that's like transparent. I can like cross check with each other. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of our systems are antiquated, like the DMV. So Elon, like his shirt says, tech support. I feel like he could help a lot of that.
computers are not meant for voting. It's just not a good, it's too many transactions taking place.
Yeah, people can hack it. People can change it. You just never know. It can't be transparent.
Too quickly. It's just not. He said, honestly, and I've gone to the best people, the smartest computer minds from MIT, from others. My uncle was a professor for 41
John
years
Trump.
at MIT, and a brilliant guy.
Rumors are he worked with Tesla, Nikola Tesla.
And I got to know a lot of the people up there, and they will tell you that the most secure way that you can secure the election, and probably the fastest way, because there can be very little hanky-panky, is
Dude,
paper
Trump, I'm telling you, Trump throws out the craziest words. Hanky panky,
ballots. Can you believe it? So I
hanky
hope,
panky,
Sarah,
broken heart.
that certainly the Republican governors, but if you want to save a lot of money, you go to paper ballots. It'll cost you 8% of what the costs are now.
Sir, you already know why they don't want to go to paper ballots.
And that's based on a good deal for machines. And then when you go through the days and weeks and months of waiting, France had mail-in ballots. Anytime you have mail-in ballots, you're going to have fraud, without question.
Is he calling out France? Is that a call out to France?
And France had it, and they went back to paper ballots.
No.
And I saw their election, and their election was over at 9 o'clock, and their numbers came in at 10:05, and there were no complaints.
So you're telling me they don't cheat in French elections or paper ballot elections? There must be a way they can cheat there too.
No, they had a winner, they had a loser, 39 million votes, and it was done. We're one of the only people that has now mail-in voting, one of the only countries that has mail-in voting. Remember Jimmy Carter when he did a commission, and I think they had Scoop Jackson, they had some, at the
Scoop Jackson.
time, big senators, and their conclusion was if you have mail-in voting, you're going to have massive fraud. And we had it in New York with a congressional race.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Mail-in voting during COVID, it makes sense. But why would you keep it past that? There's no COVID.
Remember the congressional
No
race?
lockdowns?
It took them forever to like 6 months later, they declared, who was it, Jerry Nadler or somebody? They
Jerry
declared him the
Nadler.
winner. Oh, 6 months later.
That guy has a phenotype of a legend. He's like a big circle evil character.
but it was somebody. Oh no, it was the woman, the congressman. I won't mention her
It was the
name,
woman.
but she won.
Which woman? It was the woman. I didn't call her a dog, only Rosie O'Donnell.
She didn't win, and it was really very sad to see that whole thing. Democrat, that was a Democrat, and a Democrat. That was a primary, but they had the mail-in voting. It's just a disaster. So it's
Mail-in voting sucks. Let's get rid of it.
very, very expensive. If you want to save money, if you're not,
I like how he just spent like 5 minutes just repeating the same thing that would make them mad.
really believe that the computers work, which they don't. But if you want to save a lot of money, all you have to do is go to paper ballots, and you'll be cutting it down by millions and millions of dollars.
They don't want to do that though.
America will.
They probably give their friends the deals for like the voting or whatever, and they get their little kickbacks like always.
Take off like a rocket ship. You're going to see things that's so great for the governors, and Democrat governors are going to have, you're going to get the benefit of this. You're going to be opening up plants, and you're going to be. I hope we have enough people. We're going to and we want people to come into our country, by the way, I do, but they have to come in legally. So we need people in the country, but they have to come in legally. 2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports.
Let's go. This is where they get mad, I think.
Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue, because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers.
When is Maine going to argue?
A record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever left. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then guy walks up who transitioned. He transitioned.
He transitioned.
And he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That will be a record not going to be broken again in a long. So we put a ban on it.
Well, technically, it should be deleted. That score should be deleted forever.
And to protect women. I mean, the women, if you watch the Olympics, you had two transitioned people that were fighting in the women's boxing. They have women's boxing category. And if you saw that, it was brutal. What happened to the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch,
Georgia Maloney?
Said,
No, that's the president.
No more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even a. It was just a.
Yeah,
left.
come on. That like big powerful Emain Khalif or something. Emain Khalif.
She got hit so hard. She said, "I can't do it." They forced her to go out. No, go out. Go out again. We'll do it.
I'm pretty sure she got a second punch in, and then after the second punch, she's like, "Nah, that's a dude for sure."
But goes out again. Gets hit again. No, that's it. She didn't want to die.
She didn't want to die.
That's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good.
That's good. Now it's time for Maine to comply.
Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Are you not going to comply with it?
Oh, dude. Bruh, 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 right there.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all.
Oh my God.
By the way, your population, even though...
Calling her out to her face. Is the governor of Maine here? Oh, so you're thinking of not complying? Well, expect not to get a single fucking dollar from the federal government ever again, lady, man, whatever you are.
But somewhat liberal, although I did very well there. Your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. Every
Damn.
State, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility.
Oh my God! Shots fired.
And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Enjoy your life after, because you'll never be elected politics ever again. That's crazy.
Responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens.
Yeah, now that cash is in, I don't think they'll be scared to arrest any of these people.
So just to end, this administration has been fighting for parents' rights and universal school choice. We want to do something that I think many people in this room want, and even if you don't, I think you do want it, but you might not be able to say it. We want to move the schools back to the states, so that Iowa and South Carolina and Georgia and
They're gonna start teaching farming.
all these states can run your own school system, and you'll do a fantastic job, Kim. You're going to do great. I mean, I use your example because you're so much into
I still can't believe he just straight up, face to face, called out the governor of Maine.
education.
She's like, you're not gonna have a career after this.
Done a great job with school choice.
Bonkers.
You'll do with your school choice. That'll be the easy thing. But we want to get it back, take it away. So just some stats. So at last, it's usually we're 38, 39, or 40 out of 40. They take the 40, I guess, biggest, most important, whatever it might be, but 40 countries. And we were 38, 38, 39, and congratulations, but 2 months ago, 3 months ago, we hit number 40. So we were
That's
last
terrible.
in terms of education in the world. And we were first in another category, though. We were first in cost.
Spending.
So we spend
Number one in spending, but the worst scores. How does that make sense?
much more.
Just like everything else in our government, you just spend the most and get the least results.
And by the way, second wasn't even close. So you have Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, China.
China.
There goes the big country theory, right? They have 1.4. They're rated number 5. That's a little bit scary, isn't it? But they're all
What the fuck? What happened? It got stuck on his face. What the? What happened?
You have to create no
There you
job
go.
for yourself because we want this to go
There
back
you
to
go.
the States, and she agrees. And if we can do that, I think it's going to be one of the most important things we can do. So the governors, the people in this room, Democrat, Republican, will run their own school system, and we'll back them
I'm
up.
scared for California though. Everything's just gonna be LGB, like, crazy political stuff, racism, reverse racism, DEI. It's gonna suck.
100%, and we'll pay like we do now, but I think we'll end up having to pay probably half. But that's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it because we give really bad education. And as far as the teachers union, I love teachers. And I imagine unions might form in some of these places, and if they do, that's fine, you'll deal with it. So this isn't against unions, it's because I won unions. I won the Teamsters. When you win the Teamsters, that's serious. But I put in a person as Secretary of Labor who I really did it because the unions treated me so well. The auto workers, so many of the unions, the firefighters, the police unions, I got like 98% of the vote. We're looking for the other 2%.
Oh yeah, the police for sure chose Trump over Kamala. That's a given.
Find them. So, I grew up in New York, which was union territory. But we want to be able to have great education. If we don't have education in this country's going to...
We're screwed.
When you hear China is rated number 4 and 5...
Dude, they do some crazy. They're like strict. They have harsh requirements in China.
every year. And,
No, no child left behind policy definitely does not work there.
they're a serious competitor. So I want to thank you all. And I do want to say again, call me at any time. I will take your call. If you're a Democrat, I will put you ahead of the Republican. If I have a Democrat or Republican call, Simon, I will put the Democrat first. Okay, I promise. And probably, sort of promise, right?
What the hell?
We'll take good care of the people in this room. And it's an honor to be with you. You're very, very smart people. To do what you do, to get elected, it's a tough
It sounds weird that he's being so nice to everybody, except for Maine.
Business. But if you could take back education, and if we could do some of the things that we just laid out very easily in this plan, and you have a federal government that's behind you all the way. All the way. We'll be sending help. As an example, if we do get rid of FEMA, which we should, it's very expensive, doesn't work. But we'll be sending federal help in. If you have a big hurricane or a tornado or all of the things that I've been
Fire.
mentioning, and
Fire.
be taken care of much
Fire.
more than you
Mayor
can take care
Bass.
of now. You have to wait around for these people to come, and they come so late. But the worst example was what you had to go through in North Carolina. What happened there was a terrible thing. So congratulations on your victories, and you're going to have many more victories, and I'm here for you. If you want to ask a couple of questions, you could.
Oh, it always gets interesting for questions.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I think we share excitement about disaster never fun. We have fires, other people have floods, hurricanes. We want to be a part of helping to make a federal emergency response work, changing FEMA so they're not putting square pegs in round holes. So involve our group because we're the ones on the other end of it saying, oh my God, why are they coming with this when we need that?
Right.
So we're ready to help.
Good. Thank you very much. It's very nice. Yes, please.
Thank you for welcoming us. As we go through the process of putting in your priorities as president, would you give us an opportunity to speak with you about, say, return on investment?
Sure.
Before we go, for example, into, forgive me, we've heard and we'll await the decisions you make and the Secretary will make, but for instance on Medicaid or Medicare,
Sure.
if cuts are proposed, perhaps give us an opportunity as governors to prove to you that we can make these programs worthwhile. That might help us on our
I
budgets.
love that. I think it's great, Bobby. I think it's great. One of the things we're really focused on is bringing down the costs, and we haven't been treated very fairly, especially over the last 4 years. And as you know, we had transparency, which is one of the biggest things that could have happened. And Biden, for whatever reason, terminated that. That would have brought down the costs tremendously.
Biden terminates everything. That's good.
Ideas on any of them, Medicare, Medicaid, any of it. And we will, if those ideas are good. You
Biden hates
probably have
America,
better
low
ideas
key.
than anybody as governor. So we would love that. Thank you.
On that issue of healthcare, we've talked about it before. If we reform the healthcare industry, you tried to do that in the first administration, and they tried to fight it back every step of the way. We all deal with high healthcare costs in government
Right.
and the private sector.
Right.
And if we reduce that from 20% of our GDP down to 10 to 12, you can pay for a lot of things in government that we can't currently do it. We need to get the industry in line helping us do it as well.
Well, you're a good example of it, and in your state, they've done a good job. But you're going to get those numbers down even lower. I know that it's something very strong for you. And as you have ideas, I'd love you to pass them along to the other governors here. But there are some states that have done a really, really good job with that, and
Yeah, it
we
was
are
like an
totally
hour and
open to
20 minutes.
suggestions. Right? Thank you.
There's 9 minutes left.
Yes, Henry.
Mr. President, thank you for having us here. It's the de minimis rule in tariffs. We've got the amount that is self-declared now is $800. If you package, you say your package coming from wherever is under $800, it's not inspected, there's no tariff on it. Problem is there are a lot of things coming in that are over that.
That's right, and we're not doing that anymore.
And also there's fentanyl coming in,
Yeah.
I think, to all of these states. That's a real problem, and I think that everyone is sharing that.
Thank you, Henry. So I had a deal with President Xi just prior to leaving office, but before the election, that President Xi was going to give the maximum penalty to anybody sending fentanyl into the United States. His maximum penalty is death. If you notice that every country that has the death penalty has no drug problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. If the punishment is harsh, why would you do it?
They execute drug dealers. And when you think about it, it's very humane because every drug dealer, on average, they say, kills at least 500 people, not to mention the damage they do to so many others. But they kill large numbers of people. China, Singapore, actually there are quite a few, many in Asia, where they have the death penalty. There's no drug problem whatsoever. They come to our country because we have a much softer policy.
You can get away with anything here, so all the drug dealers, everyone comes here, they're like, yeah, we're good.
Give them a slap on the wrist and say kill a lot of people. So we're going to, I don't know if our country is ready for it. I am ready for it. The death penalty if you deal drugs, you have to set out guidelines like fairly large numbers, etc. But you'll have it go down very greatly. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to do an advertising campaign. They're working on it right now, and that's saying how bad drugs are for you. I was speaking actually to the president of Mexico, saying, you can't send the people through your country. And I said, you're not a big drug-taking nation. You send us plenty of drugs, but the people aren't drug-taking. And she said, yes, we're not a consumer nation. That was a very interesting term. And I said, so why aren't you? What are the reasons? Why is it? It's true, Mexico, they don't have a lot of drug problems in terms of taking the drug. He said, well, two things, and a lot of you could do with the second thing. He said, we have very strong family values. I said, but so do we. I mean, I see people, they die of a drug overdose. The daughter, the son, the mother and father will never be the same. Never be the same. Their life is ruined. Their life is over. I've seen it so much. So we have strong family values, also family members and relationships, just as strong as Mexico. What's the other? Well, we spend a lot of money on advertising saying how bad drugs are for you. And I said, oh, I never learn anything on phone calls. This time I learned something. I said, you know, I never thought of that. Because we set up like committees, and you can't have the death penalty, I guess, but I don't know, someday somebody's going to get sick of it and do it, and you won't have any drug problem in this country. But, and you can do it on an individual state basis for the governors.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I'm pretty sure there's some states that already do that. Well, not for drugs, but other things.
Do it, but you will not have a drug problem in your state if you did it. But I will say this, we have a situation where we have now hired a couple of the best agencies, and we're going to spend about 100 million, maybe 200 million on advertising, saying that when you take certain drugs, the drugs, fentanyl, et cetera, it destroys your skin, it destroys your teeth, it destroys your brain, it destroys everything. And really horrible commercials. I mean, I've seen the first of them, and they are brutal.
If you went to high school in California, you know there was the every 15 minutes. It didn't really help me much, but it was interesting to skip class.
They are brutal. And when some young kid is sitting down watching this commercial a couple of times, I really don't think they're going to be taking drugs. So I think that this is a big statement, but I think we can drop it 50%, 50.
Dude, any drop would be amazing, to be honest.
This. And I give her credit. She was talking to me about it, telling me about it. But I knew immediately as soon as she said it, it was not, she didn't have to say anymore. She went on to tell me different things, but it was just the concept of it. And I think states can do that too. If you do commercials talking about how horrible it is, drugs. I mean, what it does, I mean, you look at their skin.
They're just like laying down.
Eroded, their teeth, you can tell.
That's what they look like.
I mean, you can see a person that takes a lot of drugs, especially fentanyl and some of the others, the bad ones, the real bad ones, some of them, the heroin. It's unbelievable what it does to people. And we're going to put a very, very strong...
Yeah, you drive through Skid Row sometimes, and you'll just see someone just sprawled out on like a random desk chair in the middle of the street and like drooling, coming down the side here.
Ads, and now that I'm thinking about it, I think you should put on strong ads too. Really strong ads. I think it's an unbelievable thing. We'll all do it. We're going to do it on a national basis, but you can do it individually on an individual basis. And you can also look, I think, you'll have to get rulings in this, but your states have the right to go death penalty also for drug dealers. And
yeah, dealers for sure, you need it.
But only do that if you want to get rid of drugs, because if you don't do that, it's a little tough. But I think the advertising will have a huge, I think we can get it down by 50%. We did great. We got it down 18%. I said, that's not a lot though. Everybody was giving us credit. Oh, 18. And 18% to me, we set up committees with the First Lady of the United States on a blue ribbon committee. But they didn't know too much about El Chapo and the various people that we're talking about. It's a smart group of people. But I'll tell you what, the advertising could be unbelievable. And I hope the states do it. You're not talking about a lot of money. You're talking about peanuts, actually. I mean, with $50 million, you could just cover the state. And if you did that, and I'm going to do it, I think we can get drugs way down. I think we can get it down by 50% when you see it. I've seen some of the ads.
Though? When? 4 years? A year? 2 years? How long are we talking here?
Man. If a person looks at the ads that I saw, they're not going to be taking drugs. So good question. Thank you, Henry, very much. How about we'll do one more? Yes, please.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Who is it? I want to know the names. I want to see them.
As we've talked as governors, we implement a lot of the social welfare programs, whether it's Medicaid or job training or rental assistance. Each one has different requirements that create cliffs and benefits that make it hard for people to recover. Things as simple as work requirements for able-bodied adults. If we could synchronize across TANF, Medicaid,
I think it's
work programs, let's make it a
volume.
trampoline to get people back on their feet instead of a hammock they climb into.
I
and
think
get
it's
out.
great. I think if you could get together and work together, you'd bring down costs just on that basis. I think it would be really great. Did you want? Go ahead, please.
Go ahead, please, go ahead.
Two words a lot of times we don't say. Thank you for your extraordinary leadership, your courage, all that you do. And just so you know, even in the state of Nebraska, you're inspiring Nebraska.
It's a Republican state, though. Of course, they're gonna
To get
they're gonna throw
comfortable being
compliments.
uncomfortable, to stand up for what we believe in: faith, family, hard
Now,
work,
if California or New York said that, that'd be something
the
else.
American dream. Stand up and talk about the common sense. So we're incredibly grateful.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
There we go. Standing ovation. Stand up for the dawn. We go to shake his hand. Thank you. I don't even know half these people. Alright, cool. Thanks for stopping by. Stopping by. If you can, drop a like, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. I didn't have too much time today. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Is that there?